Yeah.
Van Glorious, Vanguard.
Knowledge born.
Yeah.
United Front.
Tell it.
What you want, what you want, what you want.
To the Knowledge Radio.
We in here. What you got? Dot.
Work hard as a slave to one day be your savior. The wave unwavering. This is a labor of love. Rise with a purpose every day. Invigorated. If we were on TV, we'd be 10 times syndicated. If we waited for validation, a paycheck or accolades, we'd be starved, already lost or ran away. But when you're square, solid, and your circle too, you don't need a place for silence. The concept is conquered through media, not areas of people activity. A mix that don't lose ethnicity, tightness that don't lose elasticity. Explicitly, this isn't where we give the novice regard. Nah, this is where knowledge is born. Last time that I checked, I'm undefeated. Deliver edicts, can't resist when the gods build and manifest freedom. When lines get crossed, they may push a loss, cause they get handed a check. We kick your can and cancel your cancerous gestures. A prophet vision, precision, the prescription for the sickness is to inoculate your fate with the winning. Arrogant beginnings turn to humble endings. And US with KBA is a win-win. 1K, 1K.
All right, Black Power, B48, race first. I got to say that with pride. I got to put my hand over my heart when I say that. You understand? Yeah. We got the coalition in the building who is doing the unthinkable. You understand? All of these, things we hear about. You say, Africans can't get together. We ain't never going to be able to do nothing. We here in America, blah, blah, blah. We got all of this stuff going on. We got some divine brothers, some African warriors, some strong brothers that's here to defy that. You see what I'm saying? To defy and demystify that. You see what I'm saying? And put that together. So we got the Race First Coalition, you understand, together, assemble the organizers, the builders, the Imhoteps. You understand? The Imhoteps and the Dessalines is in the building right here. So put this war strategy together to give us a proper propaganda campaign of how we should come together and how we should use these initiatives for the betterment of our future. So, Race First, it becomes my honor and privilege at this time to introduce some, present to others. The Race First Coalition. We got our brother Baba Imhotep. We got our brother Baba Obawajumi, no stranger to the platform. And we got, Arkansas RBG's own, the chef, the man who always chefing. You understand what I'm saying? Helping us, transition into a healthy lifestyle, healthy way of life. Baba Obafemi, you understand what I'm saying? Welcome to the platform, Race First, Black Power. How y'all feeling?
All is well. Race First, Black Power. I feel great. It's an honor to be on your show tonight.
B48, Race First.
My books got some creases in the joint. You understand what I'm saying? We got the joints cracked open. You know what I'm saying? So we up in here getting busy. You see what I'm saying? We in here building, Baba Imhotep, I always love when you come on. You understand what I'm saying? Because there's always something that's there. And as we built in subsequent conversations, we uncover, this going from a determined idea to manifestation. So I want to start off with that, with you first. How does it feel to know, as an African warrior, that you could put out a call, and we deal with call and response as African people, to get the response that you have been receiving, you see what I'm saying, putting this together?
That's a great question. And I say it's great because up until asking that question, I really didn't even think about it, because I was caught up in just moving, doing the work and consistently rethinking, thinking, trying to watch everything from afar, trying to show, trying to spread myself to everybody, making sure that I'm able to, be supportive in some capacity, even though I'm not in all those other places. So I haven't really slowed down to think about it that way. But now that you put forth that question, it's a beautiful experience to know that something can come through you and you can sound it off and it can resonate with others and they respond to it, right? That's beautiful. There's nothing like it. And because of that, it re-energizes me and it refocuses me, because it lets me know that folk are ready to do serious work. So since I know folk are ready to do serious work, I gotta stay serious and I gotta be serious about the work that I'm doing. So it's a beautiful experience. I love it.
All right, so I know, Brother Oba, you ain't no stranger to this platform. You ain't no stranger to organizing and understanding where it takes, and you back in the stronghold of Brother Delphia. You understand what I'm saying? Brother Delphia out there. So with this kind of thing, leading up, you have an event already planned that you are part of, Baba Imhotep, as well. 17th annual African Independence Day, and then moving into Black August all the way to the later part for this. How you feeling about everything that's going on, and what was it about this experience that kind of led you to say, okay, Philly got to, put up or shut up. You see what I'm saying? On both instances.
Well, I'll say this, that um, being a part of this movement, and Baba and I and Baba Obafemi were just talking about it. It's a tremendous thing. Like one thing that Baba Imhotep always reminds everybody, and I know I'm very, very clear on that, is that this thing has been ordained, it has been sanctioned, it has been blessed by the ancestors, and I allow for the ancestors to move me. You know what I mean? I allow for the Egungun to move me and put it on my spirit and on my heart that, hey, you got to take up this charge. You see what's happening in Philly, you see what's happening in Baltimore. I'm sure the same thing's going on in Columbus, Ohio, Pine Bluff, Arkansas, or Gulfport, Mississippi, or Los Angeles, California. Now we got Buffalo, New York. Look, our people are killing each other. Our people it's chaotic situations, it's chaotic times out here, and we have to be a part of the solution and not continuing to perpetuate the problem. And none of us who are part of this coalition are about continuing to perpetrate the problem. We are nation builders. We're solution oriented. Race First couldn't have come at a better time to be a part of this coalition, to be a part of really Black August starting this week, on Sunday with the National Race First Awareness Week, which I know Baba and we'll get into a little bit more later. Leading right into African Independence Day on August the 7th, and leading us up and building us up to the 28th of August with the rallies that's going on in several different cities around the country, and everything else that's involved with Black August. Even you doing the thing with the RBG second annual RBG Music Festival. This is a great time to be an African. I just think that we're coming out of what I said on Dr. Maya's show last week. I really believe we're coming out of Ishfet. We're coming out of that stage of chaos. It's looking really, really bad right now, but I think that we're coming out of it. I think that there is a shift that is happening, and I think that the ancestors and the celestial bodies that manifest themselves in the Orisha, in the Loa, in the Abosun, those things are moving us to do the things that we're doing. So this thing is very divine, man. I'm just very, very happy to be a part of it.
Definitely. Now, my brother Obafemi, I've been trying to get Obafemi on this platform for about 6 years now. You understand what I'm saying? Brother Obafemi is in a place that created an RBG stronghold. An RBG stronghold where the flag truly flies high. You understand? He's over there as an artist. He's over there as an outreach coordinator. He's over there in the streets. He's very present, very visible, and he's used his talents and his gifts, to cultivate the land and the people. You see what I'm saying? So I'm definitely interested to hear what my brother got to say in regards to his involvement in this, magnificent endeavor. What does it mean, to be Arkansas RBG, race first aligned, and with everything else that you've been doing? You see what I'm saying? Seeing you out there with the babies, seeing you out there with the families, seeing you out there, pushing this initiative forward. He's another one that embodies this through and through, a true soldier. So, what is this, push for you in regards to this, with so much under your belt in regards to, what this flag truly means. Chef, talk to us.
Yo, I think this is definitely divine timing. This is in alignment. Like the brothers that spoke before me, this is in alignment with our ancestors. The work that, I talk to my students, I talk to my children. I said, a lot of the people that we learn about through our history, I said we know about them because the work that they put in for our people. I said, so, we have I feel that I have an obligation. Like, I've listened to a number of different people talk. I think it was Irritated Genie. I listened to him say something to the effect of, he said, I don't, this is my belief. He said, but I believe when I pass, I'm gonna go meet all them great ancestors, the warriors who put it down in life, and say, and I'm gonna have to answer to them. You know what I'm saying? So the Dessalines, the Harriet Tubmans, the Nat Turners, like, I'm gonna answer to them when I leave, and they don't want to hear, oh, you didn't do this. Oh man, my job had me bogged down, so I couldn't fulfill my obligation. To me, being a man, being a true man means you have a responsibility to answer the call, dealing with the conditions of your people. So to me, you can't call yourself a man out here if you don't have no obligation to help your race, to help your people. You may be a grown male, but you're not a man. You're not an African man at that. You know what I'm saying? So I feel that this is in part of your development as a man. You have an obligation to yourself, to an African woman, to your children, to your community, your immediate surroundings, and your race. That's part of it. So just going to work every day, that ain't enough. It won't get the baby no candy. You know what I'm saying? So we got an obligation to put this work in, man. So I'm just doing my part. And to me, it's like I've been saying this day after day. We just connecting the dots, man. We are truly connecting the dots. So that's where I'm at, man.
I love that. So, Bob Imhotep, I know that you are a serious African, a warrior, a scholar, and I know in order to work with you, certain kind of qualifications had to be in place. So, can you share with us, some of your vision and a little bit of the qualifications? And when people reached out, like what's the process to get a yay or a nay to actually deal, in this endeavor?
So basically, and it's interesting because I was just speaking a little bit about that behind the scenes. But for me, since I've knew these brothers and the work that they was doing, it's always about the character, because the integrity of the work is protected by the characters of the individuals that's involved in the work. And that's not always an easy thing to do, because people don't always understand how important character is. So people think that they can they think that if I'm doing the work, then my character bullcrap should be overlooked. Like, so one of the things I did is, like, for the rallies, there are things that I say, like, I don't want us to be at the rallies using profanity, right? Not because I'm saying that I'm trying to speak like Europeans and things like that, because we don't know who may be in our audience in terms of elderly people, because we're going to bring some serious people out. So we don't want our children not to be at a place where they can't hear profound things. So no profanity, no talking down to the people, no alcohol, no drugs, you know what I'm saying? No white people, you know what I'm saying? No individualized message. Whereas though you want the message to be about you, you want to supersede the overall theme, which is race first. So these are the things that are in place right here, because we got to keep a central theme so our people can leave with a central idea about what we're trying to do. So we can't get in there and try to promote, religion. That's not a religion, So we're not gonna come in there. Now, I'm not saying that a person that's religious can come. They can come. They can be a part of, giving a message. But you can't come give a message if your message is solely about religion, because religion and race first are not the same thing. You know what I'm saying? They're not the same thing. because depending upon who's giving them the religious message, they can tell you love the people that's trying to kill you. You know what I'm saying? And that's not the message that we're trying to give off. You know what I'm saying? Race first says this. It says we put us first. It says that if you blink at us wrong, if you gesture toward us wrong, under race first, you see what I'm saying? That's grounds to snatch your head off. That's what we're saying. So we're not here to appease to an enemy. We're not here to try to civilize an enemy. We're not here to try to reform a devil. That's not race first. Race first is something totally different. So our message got to be that kind of message. So that's what it's about. So if people not ready to take it to that degree, then race first is not for them. Something else is for them, but not race first. Race first is not for everybody. Race first is only for race first people.
That's cut and dry right there. You see what I'm saying? Now, Oba and Obafemi, we got spiritual, vetting procedures that we do. You see what I'm saying? To ensure that, some of the BS, that be going on, don't go on. You see what I'm saying? So, with this movement in your areas, you see what I'm saying? Not necessarily what's the precautions, but what did it look like to y'all, after hearing this call, from Bob Imhotep about, building these race first strongholds in these particular cities, especially, in places like, Pine Bluff or places like Philly with all of the things that's going on. Even also for you, Bob Imhotep, in that particular fixture that you in, you see what I'm saying, in Baltimore, you see, how do you push this race first philosophy and how do you seed it in the mind that is built up and built upon, and the infrastructure that's built up and built upon black self-destruction and black menocide?
Let me address that first, please. I think, like I was saying earlier, race first in the 21st century carries the same impact that black power carried in the 20th century, if we understand the dynamics well. What I've learned through studying history is that no two places in the USA are the same. So some of the tactics that I may employ in Baltimore may not necessarily work in other places. So our effectiveness will have to be based on our ability to assess the logistics of where each of us are at. So one of the things that works well in Baltimore that we're striving to pick up is we do this thing called race first, grub in the hood. So the grub in the hood, race first, allows us to interact with our people by way of providing food. The food only does what for us? It allows us to, when you're giving people food, it erases the hostilities that they initially come with. Because we have been conditioned to be hostile and suspicious of one another. So that before I can get to a conversation with the person, I got to take the hostilities down. So that's what the food does. The food allows us to remove all the hostilities, and then we can begin to have a conversation around race first as to what do it mean to you, sister? Or what do it mean to you, brother? What do you think it is? Right? And we hand out a little bit of paraphernalia. We give out some little race first bracelets or the buttons. If we get some buttons, we got a few keychains that I want to start giving out. So that type of methodology is what's being used to just begin to get people to understand that when we say race first, we're talking about us first. But we got to draw people into that conversation. So the grub in the hood is just one of the things that, we are rolling out and will continuously roll out in an effort to get the message to our people.
Brother Obafemi, y'all want to add to it?
For us here in Philly, this is our first year. So, we're just, we're novice in this process. And one thing that we're striving to do, myself and Professor Carlton Jones, as co-chairs of the Race First Rally here in Philadelphia, striving to do is learn what it is that Baltimore does. Baltimore is the epicenter for race first rally. The concept, being manifested, and coming through Baba Imhotep, you know, and something that I know that he's introduced to PLM. But like he says, he may be the progenitor and the springboard of it, and so and as well as PLM. But Race First is a national movement. You know what I mean? That, like he said, he was inspired to manifest. So we're learning. So we want to be able to get to that particular point where we can have grub in the hood, where we can have the paraphernalia, the bracelets, the the the, the keychains, even the race first tees. And I got to get me a couple, by the way. So, but that's off. That's offline. I'm gonna talk to Bob about that. But my whole point is that we're learning to go about doing this thing the right way. I know for me that we're going to have some very, very powerful speakers. Um, you know, uh, you know, um, I understand, about the whole idea of, not using profanity and things of that nature because of the different type of people that may be out there and everything like that. But I know that some people speak out of passion. They got an undying love and an undying commitment to our people, and that's kind of hard to extinguish. You know what I'm saying? Because of their passion and their real, genuine, sincere love and commitment to the liberation of African people. So but we definitely will keep in mind the rules of engagement in terms of what we present to the community on the 28th here in Philadelphia at Carroll Park up in West Philadelphia. And, each year hope to get better and better and better and better. But most importantly, I think the one thing that we want to definitely be in Philadelphia, and this is something I'm sure that goes across the board throughout the country, as many cities, as many places take on doing race first rallies, is being consistent with it each and every year. Being consistent with this thing. That's the most important thing. You know what I mean? Being consistent, adding on cities and being consistent with doing it each and every year at a high level.
Yes, sir.
Uh, for myself, Freddie Savage Jr., we spearheading it here in Pine Bluff. I mean, we a much smaller city, but in Arkansas, this the city. You know what I'm saying? Outside of, Little Rock is the capital city, but we've been connected with brothers and sisters across the state. So, you know what I'm saying? Arkansas, I mean, our population ain't but 4 million. So we, I like, I've had to look at the map and just see where black people are positioned throughout the state. So I've been making contacts with brothers and sisters up and down this corridor in which we stay. Like we in the Delta. So, um, you know, living by principles and being an example is one of the things that we do. You know what I'm saying? Being visible, like we was out knocking on doors today. You know what I'm saying? Like literally, we beat the street. You know what I'm saying? And just in different settings, man. We talking to people, talking about what's going on with our people. From us killing each other to the stuff that they show in the news, and a lot of people end up in that position. Like, what do we do? What do we do? How do we solve it? I'm like, we got to put us first. I said, tell me another way. You know what I'm saying? Outside of you, I'm in the Bible Belt, of course. So a lot of folks gonna tell you, the Lord is the way. That's how we gotta go. I'm like, I ain't telling you to throw away the Lord. I'm telling you, you need to get with your people. You know what I'm saying? You got children, you got grandchildren. They need employment. They need education. They need socialization. I said we have to be in charge of those things. So I'm just coming into you from, like Baba said, this is natural. The brown recluse spiders look out for the brown recluse spiders. They ain't looking out for the other spiders. They look out for their own. You know what I'm saying? The earthworms look out for the earthworms. Like, but that's how I know something has happened to us. So I'm just trying to get people to understand, like, yo, this is natural. But if you want to battle me on it, hey, I'm peace. I see you. You know what I'm saying? But we on the battlefield daily. So this is a lifestyle. This ain't. I picked this up to do this today, and tomorrow I'm gonna be on something else. Like this is my life. This is how I live. So just being that example is one of the ways that we using to help inform and share with our people. So
And brother Obafemi, tell them faith without works is dead, and tell them the kingdom of heaven don't come with observation. You understand what I'm saying? And then tell them God help those that help themselves. Tell them three things, okay? If we can't agree on that, and all three of them don't add up the race first, you can't tell them nothing. You understand what I'm saying? Faith without works is dead. The kingdom of heaven don't come with observation, and God help those that help themselves. If they can't get around them principles, they doing God a disservice. You understand what I'm saying? If you ain't helping yourself, God can't even help you.
I tell them, I say, yo, however you want to slice it, I'm doing God's work. And God would want to see his people go through what we're suffering from. So I'm like, whatever you want to call your God or whatever, I say I'm doing God's work. So I ain't finna get into it about what you believe and all of that stuff. That's on you.
Hey, and that door to door, I think that need to be adopted more. We need to bring that back up. I think we rely too heavy on, social media, thinking that we could put out a blanket statement and everybody gonna see it. You see what I'm saying? The Jehovah's Witness and the Mormons are still at your door. The nation used to be at your door back in the day. You understand? But they at your door. Rain, sleet, hail, snow. The Mormons used to cut your grass and take your trash out. You understand? They have a little bit of your time. So I think, in regards to our philosophy, what we want our people to see first, when they see us and what they see us doing, play a very vital role in how they actualize themselves. You see what I'm saying? So if they saw us, more active, like you were saying, in their face, you know what I mean? Baba got the cheat code. He gave him a piece of chicken before he talked to him. Like, get this chicken or this fish, then we can have a conversation. You understand what I'm saying? Those engagements are positive engagements, and the likelihood of them retaining what you're saying, because those institutions are also feeding them. They also got vacation Bible school over the summer. You understand? So you going in there for a meal, but you leaving out with some, with a whole nother meal. You see what I'm saying? So I see my brother Mike Surgeon in the building. Take a moment to introduce yourself and answer the question. What made you answer the call, and how did you see yourself getting involved in this Race First initiative we got going on?
Well, thank you very much, brother, for having me and for having us here this evening. I apologize for the technical difficulties. It's definitely a big part of my life. I'm not going to get into all of that right now, but it's very interesting when my signal works and when it doesn't work. But that said, I'm glad to be here. My name is Jonathan Michael Cross. Mike Surgeon is my pen name, my pseudonym. I'm from Columbus, Ohio. I am a lifelong community organizer, warrior scholar, social science, political science in particular is sort of more my focus and my background. But there's a lot of public policy issues within our community that we observe from an African-centered standpoint. Brother Oba last week was making reference again to Neely Fuller and Francis Cress Welsing's 9 areas of people activity. And so all of that is very much tied in to my focus and to my work. A lot of the things that I do through my primary organization here in Columbus, Ohio, which is the Self-Knowledge Academy. And so when Baba Imhotep made the appeal, made the call, shared his vision, his communication with the Creator and with the ancestors about expanding the Race First initiative, the Race First movement nationally and ultimately internationally, I knew it was a on time message that definitely required support, and in the tradition of call and response that we have in our culture and in our community. That was a request, that was an appeal that he made, that was not to return back to him void. And we're seeing the fruits of his obedience in the response that it's already gotten this second year out, with the addition of Buffalo, New York, and Los Angeles, California coming on board. So that's 7 cities so far this year. And again, it's the result, and we have a long way to go and a lot more work to do, a lot more engagement with the community. But already we're seeing the fruits of his labor and his obedience. And so for me, it was very natural, because one of the things that Baba Imhotep has emphasized, which is so necessary, is that the Black nationalists, the African-centered, the Afrocentric organizations and organizers all over the United States, up north, down south, Midwest, East Coast, West Coast, we need to know each other. We need to be in solidarity with each other, which many of us are. But this Race First movement, this Race First initiative, is definitely an effort to solidify that, and to concretize that, and to make that operational, and something that can be more responsive to the needs of our people locally. And then we can develop this national identity based on the national consciousness, which must come first, as Baba has also emphasized. So I'm just very humbled and very honored to be among this cadre of brothers and sisters who are carrying this baton and this banner of Race First forward. Is very, very needed and very necessary. And I'll just leave it there for now.
All right. Bobby Imhotep, I want to hear, a little of your vision, your vision for where you would like to see the city. Where would you like to see this Race First initiative go and grow? Like, if you could share a little of the vision, a little bit of the end game, collectively, and then I would like to hear, individually.
So I'll speak a little bit about it, because I do think that's important. Essentially, what has to happen on a number of levels is that we have to become better organized. Now, there is no organization without discipline. Simple as that. Discipline is essential to organization, and at least the organization that I envision. I'm talking about precision, surgical moves. I'm talking about that type of organization. Being prompt, being responsive, being able to exactitude. That's what I'm talking about. That takes discipline. If we are paying attention, we know that we are under attack. So when you are under attack, you have to put yourself in a position to ward off the strikes and then to neutralize the threat. Simple as that. You got to get in a position to do that. We are being attacked at a national level. And it's happening because nationally, we don't see ourselves as being the same. When we get to the national level, we get highly fragmented. When we localize, we okay with one another in our little local spaces. But the local spaces are not strong enough to confront what we're up against. We can only confront it nationally to make some serious moves nationally. So what will happen through the execution of what we're doing, because the rallies becomes a strategic means to produce a symbolic gesture of the type of national unity that we must concretize, that we must operationalize. So is that organization that's being sought after? Meaning that whatever the brothers are doing in Pine Bluff, they putting that work in. They need help. They need more people to work with them. So through the Race First rally, it becomes a magnet to identify other serious-minded brothers and sisters that may be close by, that's willing to get in the ranks with them to do that level of that work. That's at the local level. And that happens for all of us. But as we move forward, what has to happen is that all of our people who are great and good in economics, that are clear from an African point of view, we need to get them together. All our people that are great and good politically, with an African mind, we need to get them together. Our scientists need to get them together, right? So that's what the Race First is about, producing multi-layers of organizational sectors under the platform of Race First to produce what? Power. You know, it's not going to happen this year, next year, the year after.
Ashe, Baba.
But this is the way to it. This is the path. This is the passageway. If we can see the vision, right, and withstand the time, we can make this happen. In 2025, the National Race First Convention, right? We lay out an agenda. We bop it out. We come back in 2 years, in 2027. What have we learned? What have we produced? You know what I'm saying? Best practices. What didn't work? What did work in 2027? Then in 2030, you see what I'm saying? We go to a larger scale for something else. By then, we should be in at least 30, 35 cities, but organized. And we can impact what we need. We can enforce what we need to get done. But we got to start somewhere, and we got to be willing to see this vision through and be willing to move through all the ups and downs, all the opposition that's going to come, and just know that we are backed by the greatest force in history, our ancestors. They're not going to put us on the path that we can't win. They're going to put us on a winning path. People lose when they lose faith in their ancestors. People win when they believe in their ancestors. They believe in their deities. They believe in their own power, right? So that's what this is. It's organization. That's what we got to produce. Organization. And this is a means to produce the organization. Everything else that's done on the Race First are nothing but tactics. Simple as that. The Race First youth explosion that we do here in Baltimore, it's a tactic. What? We're teaching our young people at an early age about Race First. Simple as that. Getting them prepared. The Race First Club in the Hood, it's a tactic that allows us to do what? Community engagement. Simple as that. You know, everything is a tactic leading to one thing. We got to get organized. We got to get organized. So that's what it's all about. Did I answer your question? I know I said quite a few things. Did I answer the question?
No, yes. Because we dealing with things in concrete. You see what I'm saying? We can get very philosophical. You see what I'm saying? And our feet never touch that concrete. We can get real philosophical. We can pontificate with the best. You see what I'm saying? And then when you start talking about strategy, then we start talking about engagement, what that looks like and what it builds into, you lose a lot of people. You see what I'm saying? They get real scholastic on you. You know, they got the figures, they got the studies and all that. When it's time to do what they need to do, they elect presidents based off people knocking on your door. They were sending text messages about, you know, that whoever they put in that place. You understand? They was texting me. I'm like, what is this? How you get my number? Like, would you help us with? You see what I'm saying? So when they have an initiative, our enemies move in a militaristic fashion to engage us with their fascism. You see what I'm saying? They don't do something for a day and then they go quit. You see what I'm saying? So they have this stuff on auto loop to continue to go. And they always go back and they reassess and they relearn, and then boom, they come back with those same tactics. You see what I'm saying? So I really hope, you know, the people that's listening ingesting what Bob is saying in regards to, you know, taking this stuff from just a place of a philosophical space or just something good, some good news to hear, you know, for your palate and for your mind, and don't think there's no follow through in regards to the action and implementation. So let me go to brother Obawajumi. You understand? What's up with Philly, man? Talk to us.
I'll say this, that you know, what we're doing here is, dusting off and kicking the tires on a concept that has existed for, for well over what, almost now, well over 100 years. This idea of race first, we're striving to introduce or reintroduce, should I say, it back into the lexicon, the ideas back into the minds of African people. And it's something that's multi-generational, you know what I'm saying? In that sense, it's multi-generational, because what we're trying to do is we're trying to ultimately really prepare our people for what Dr. Clark said, prepare really our children to become responsible handlers of power. That's what we're striving to do. So we have a short-term goal, but we also have a long-term goal. 5 years from now, we have that very first convention. You know what I'm saying? Certain things are brought to the table. Certain ideas are ironed out. We go out and we execute those things, and then we see where we're at in 10 years. You know what I'm saying? With another, convention. But like Bible says, something unified, something is that we're connecting the dots all across the board. The way I see it is like, even here in Philadelphia, and I've shared this with Carlton Jones, is almost like, we have to come together out of necessity. It's necessary for us to come together. We're building an alliance. You know what I'm saying? We're doing with this this coalition, this organizing body is building a coalition and an alliance. You know what I'm saying? To defend ourselves. Not only just to defend ourselves, but to do some real serious work in changing the conditions that exist, changing and transmogrifying the conditions that presently exist here in America for African people, and then ultimately taking it abroad. You know what I mean? But it has to start somewhere, as Baba Imhotep said. And in Philadelphia, it's bad. It's really bad here. Just got some figures the other night, and they're saying that Philadelphia surpassed New York and Chicago as far as murders are concerned from major cities across the United States. And I would never have thought that the city that I was born and pretty much raised in all my life would get to this particular point. But conditions have become so red alert and so critical that we have to do something. And, will all the problems be solved with one race first rally? No. But we can introduce some things that can help to push towards a proper understanding of who and what we are, begin the process of healing somewhat, you know what I mean, and continue to reinforce those ideas, throughout the year until, we have our next Race First rally for 2022. So, it's critical that we do what we're doing on the 28th here in Philadelphia, as it is in Pine Bluff, as it is in Columbus, Ohio, as it is in, in Tubman City, Baltimore, Maryland. It's critical. And so these are the ideas that we have in mind, myself and Brother Carl and the team of people that we're working with to bring about the Race First rally here in Philadelphia.
All right, Brother Obafemi, and then Brother Mike.
I think one of the major things, man, is the level of organization that we need in order to build the type of communities, societies, enclaves where we can thrive. It takes a lot of coordination, and sometimes I don't think that in the course of our days, every day, like we don't really think about what it takes to be sovereign. What it takes to run a city, what it takes to run a nation, and all of these parts that go into place. And so I know that's end game. What's the process that it takes to get there? Is one of the places we have to start is consciousness. So I've been looking at some of Baba Imhotep's model as much as I can glean, and we got some some offline stuff to talk about, but you know, how to start developing the minds of the people to understand the significance of how we need to operate every day, every single day, day in and day out. This is just what we do, because this is who we are. This is where we have to go. So, you know, we're in the process of developing a school, an independent Black institution. You know, working with kindergarten to second grade. We about to have an event tomorrow for that. You know, with our community gardens, we then took three empty lots around the city and started to grow food, and we're teaching people the process. You know, I got one of my sisters in Little Rock. She does vegan soul food. So we trying to get into the process of being able to grow the food, some of the food that she's selling in her restaurant. So we control the whole process. But this is what we have to do in each area of the people activity. I had a sister call me today about birth certificates and all of this. I said, yeah, you can reject the birth certificate and social security number. I said, but what systems do we have in place when we need health care? What systems do we have in place? You know, what work are we doing to develop those systems that we need? But if you have a child and now you don't want your child to get the number, but you want your child to get a checkup, you got to take them right back to the same folk that you don't want to be a part of. So I'm like, we have to get in that work, in that space, and that's tangible work. That's hammers and nails. That's screws, nuts, and bolts. That's dirt. That's sweat. That's blood. That ain't just a bunch of talking. You understand? And so that's why I'm it's grind time every day. You know what I'm saying? You can see me sweat. It don't bother me. I'm gonna sweat every day because that's what it's gonna take. It's gonna take some long nights. It's gonna take some headaches. It's gonna take some stress. But hey, we got to do it. So that's my level of that's my commitment. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what I'm trying to convey through my own passion, and people see my own passion, and hopefully that can seep into other brothers and sisters. But I know we have to get to the minds. We have to help to develop the consciousness of our people. So
let me weigh in, and that's why the first principle is Black consciousness.
yes, indeed. Yes,
that's why that's the first principle. Because so people think that when we say race first, you know, that we thinking that everybody gonna be race first up here. No, we just saying it. But everybody that come in, we know they not necessarily going to be demonstrating race first, right? They still gonna have to be raised to the practicality of race first. Now, theoretically, they're gonna be raised first 100%, right? Theoretically, but not practically. Ideally, they race first, but not realistically. So we get them in there. You talk about that first principle. It's Black consciousness. So because once the consciousness is converted, then everything else falls in line. Everything falls in line once the consciousness is converted. So that's why Black consciousness gotta be first. We gotta build the consciousness up. And I did get your message over, and that's why I called you to try to have a conversation about the study class, because we gotta create spaces where we can engage in serious study as it pertains to who we are and what we must be doing. And how do we convert our consciousness? How do you take, I'm gonna use this terminology just to make a point. How do you transform a nigga into an African? Like that's not an easy task.
right.
A lot of people probably never engaged in that. Man, that's not easy at all. You know, because if you're not careful, that nigga gonna niggerize you.
Right.
You know, it's real, it's serious, but this is the level of the work that we got to do as we move forward with race first. You know, because we need, out of necessity, we need people to truly understand what you just got from this talking about over, that this is a working thing, right? Like it's not race first, it's practical. It says thought and behavior that places. When you use the word places, we talk about movement. Thought and behavior that places the social, political, and economic interests, spiritual well-being, and overall material survival of Black people first. So we're saying that everything that you think and do puts them first. That's work, but it's doable because once again, we are backed by the greatest force in history, our ancestors.
True. Indeed.
I say to
Brother
that.
Mike.
Ashe, ashe. Well, you know, here in Columbus, we suffer from many of the same challenges as our brothers and sisters all over the United States, and that's by design. It's very intentional, and so the process of, you know, resolving a lot of these problems has to be just as intentional and just as deliberate as the effort to keep us in this predicament. And unity is the only way. African-centered unity, as far as I'm concerned, needs to be the foundation. And this Race First initiative is the process, it's the mechanism, it's the vehicle to operationalize it, to make it happen, and to bring it to pass. Um, uh, one of the things I think, being an artist and a poet, musician, practically all of my life myself, that I can definitely point to that has been a major obstacle over the last 15, 20, maybe 30 years, depending on how you look at it and how you count it, is the deterioration of our collective identity through the co-opting and the weaponization of our popular culture and our music. And it's been used against us. And it's been used to program the minds of our youth over a couple of generations now solidly to value things that fundamentally are not in our interest, that really go against the grain of what you need to have not only a healthy individual, but a healthy family. And without healthy individuals and healthy families, we can't even get to the level or to the stage of talking about community in any practical kind of way. That's why Frances Cress Welsing said it's not proper for us to really talk about our families, a lot of our families, but a lot of our communities as communities. She said the more proper term would be to refer to them as survival units, because those are the conditions that we live under. And one of the things that I see as a need is for our people to be able to see themselves. One of the ways that I learned it young in rites of passage, and then as I got older and heard some of the grandmaster teachers talking about it in terms of what it means to be race first or Pan-African or African-centered, they would talk about this idea of viewing ourselves as the primary unit of analysis. It just means that nothing except for the creator and the ancestors, nothing comes before us. So when we talk about our studies, when we talk about our aspirations, when we talk about our inquiry in terms of our education, what we say, as a community is important to teach our young people and things like that, it naturally comes from a race first point of view when we see ourselves as the primary unit of analysis. But when we see ourselves, or maybe we've been socialized or raised in a family or in a society that has sort of given us rewards or encouraged us or incentivized us to play like a secondary or a second class role, then all of the decisions that we make are relative to the interests of someone else. They get first, we get seconds, thirds, and leftovers. And then that becomes like the part of like the psychology of the community is like fighting over crumbs. You know what I'm saying? And we don't realize how much there really is, because we're not even at the level of the table to see what's on top of the table that they really handling. We down on the bottom, just killing each other and cutting each other's throats for the crumbs that's falling off the table. And that's one of the things through my studies that I want to help share with the young people, especially because they need to know really how many career paths and how many different opportunities and how many different streams of income they could legitimately, quote unquote, make, control, be a part of. But it also comes with responsibility. It's not just get. It's like, can you be reliable? Can you be count onable? Because there's going to be people in the community depending on, the role that you play to be consistent. And that's what we're compensating you for. That's what we're paying you for. That's what the community is investing in your education for, and those types of things. So, and then, in philosophy and everything, that's what they mean when they talk about the social contract. It's just the agreement between basically the community at large or the government and every member of society of the expectation level, rights and responsibilities. Like, we all have certain rights that the community at large protects. We look out for each other, but in exchange for that, I have to be accountable to every brother on this line and every like-minded brother and sister who shares that. You see what I'm saying? So this is the process, like Baba Imhotep has said, and again, we're just honored to be a part of it. It's necessary everywhere our people are, because we're under attack everywhere, and it's a process of social engineering, and so we have to be vigilant and deliberate about countering all of their actions with countermeasures, and then also initiating measures on our own. That's what this is. Race first is offensive. It's not defensive. I mean, it's protective. It has a defensive capability. Don't get me wrong. But one of the things that I love about it is it's offensive. It's not reactive. We're not waiting for some bad news, to flash across CNN to be like, oh man, we need to mobilize. We need to, start knocking on doors and get more of our brothers and sisters, invested in Black consciousness and all these types of things. No, so and that fits more with my personality anyway. I think it fits more with a lot of the youth personality and a lot of brothers' personalities in general. We are action oriented people, and race first is action oriented. So again, that's why I'm participating, and it's growing, and it's going to continue to grow, and it's just an honor to be a part of the process.
All right, so this build up to this magnificent gathering that's happening, I know you had some other things that you wanted to talk about Imhotep, race first awareness, you see what I'm saying, going into Black August, and some of the build-ups, and if anybody else has anything that they wanted to add in for their particular city, or just in general that you know of, you see what I'm saying, to point the people towards something that will help add into their race first, skills bank, or they race first, build up our mentality. If you want to touch on some of those things, feel
Yes,
free.
I'll speak briefly about the National Race First Awareness Week and what that's all about and why that came to be. And like I say always, these race first initiatives that's coming through me, they're flowing directly from the ancestors, because I do a lot of communion. I'd be up late thinking and writing, and just trying to understand what need to be understood about our situation and how to create some type of solutions. So growing out of the Race First initiative, the Race First movement, it became very clear that a week should be designated for Race First. And that's not to say that we should not do Race First all year long, because those of us who are Race First, we're going to do it all year long anyway. However, for those amongst us who aren't familiar with Race First, this week becomes that moment that allows us to center Race First. It allows us to make it central within our lives. This week allows us to affirm, celebrate, and commemorate Blackness as a practicality in terms of Race First. So that's what the week is about. And some of the ways in which this commemoration can take place and honor this week, you can talk about Race First as much as you could to your children. Have those conversations. Go to Race First events, host Race First events. You know, support a black organization. Make a donation to the Race First movement. You know, watch black documentaries, watch black lectures, read black books that focuses on the uplift of black people. By black, you know, for those of you who are into that, 'cause I know we got you know, different conversations about that that's going on, but whatever you can do in this week that's going to allow you to place black first, that's what you should be doing. You're going to watch, you know, some type of television shows, watch something that's black, you know, watch those documentaries, you know. And the reason why this week was designated July 25th through July 31st, which essentially is the last week in the month of July going forward, is because the week is adjacent to the month of Black August, a month of resistance, you know, resistance that's coming out of the prisons movements. So it aligns right up with that. For us here in Baltimore, on August the 1st, we're doing a Race First community reunion cookout. And it's a reunion within the community because in most of our cities where people are doing this level of work that we do, a lot of times we don't see each other that much. A lot of times there are minor falling outs here or there and people going in on separate ways. So it made sense to me to put an event together that could bring us together under the banner of Race First, that could allow us to still re-bridge the gaps so we can reconnect and create some new connections. You know, so that's August the 1st, and that becomes an official kickoff for us going into that entire month of you know, Black August, leading up to the Race First rally. You know, you got the Independence Day, my Independence Day celebration. It's also in August. You got the Marcus Garvey celebrations in August. You got several different Black August celebrations that take, or Black August commemorations that take place within August, you know. And most people don't know is this. Marcus Garvey organized the entire month of August. And he designated the last day in August as a holiday. When you go back and read what he put together in that same resolution, when he gave us that flag, and you read through it, he designated the last day in August as a holiday. So that's the reason why, if you noted last year, the Race First rally was August the 16th. It was in the beginning of the month. So I rearranged it and put it at the end of the year. I mean, at the end of the month, to be as consistent as possible with history, to try to bring about a historical alignment. Because we gotta be aligned with history as much as we can to maximize our outcomes. So I'm in there, let some of the other brothers get in and, you know, share their piece as it pertains to the National Race First Awareness Week.
Brother Oba, you know, that's a lead in before we get into what we getting into. You understand what I'm saying? That's one of the greatest springboards, and I think that we kind of align our schedule, you know, unconsciously with the interviews next week, you know, leading up to, you know, August the 7th as well. You see what I'm saying? You know, Bob Imhotep, I got to get with you also to get you on next week as well. You see what I'm saying? For your interview, because you're speaking at, you know, African Independence Day too. So got to get with you with that. So, Brother Obawajumi.
Well, first of all, Baba Imhotep is showing his genius of having to put the National Race First Awareness Week during the last week of July. It's a perfect lead-in to everything that's happening in August, you know, for Black August. It's just perfect. And you know, more attention needs to be paid to the month of August and all the things that, you know, make Black August what it is. You know, talking about, you know, the prison riots, talking about the Soledad brothers, talking about George and Jonathan Jackson, and the perfect segue into, you know, the 17th annual African Independence Day Mod celebration on August the 7th, the day of the transitioning of Jonathan Jackson. So it's tremendous, man, how everything lines itself up with history. As Baba said, the alignment is just tremendous. So I have to say that you know, to be a part of this and to have it in association with African Independence Day is huge. There was no other person I really wanted more to be able to speak and to present at African Independence Day this year than Baba Imhotep. And I'm very, very happy to have him as one of the keynote speakers for this year's event, which will be seen right here live at 1 p.m. on Saturday, August the 7th, right here on Do the Knowledge Radio, the 17th Annual African Independence Day Mile Celebration. And this year's theme going right along with race first. The idea of if we don't put race first and unify, we're going to die. And that's why I said, this year's theme is unify or die. It's just basically a mandate. You know what I mean? It's the same mandate as we're saying race first. We're not allowing for anybody to say, oh, well, it's like, we don't want we don't necessarily see the need to have race first because Black Lives Matters. No, we're not asking anybody for permission. This is a mandate that we're putting out. We're putting race first back into the minds and consciousness of the people. Same thing, we're putting that same edict out to the people that, look, you got to either unify or we're going to die. We're going to be extinct before the end of the 21st century if we don't do something to change our present condition. So, the likes of just so many people who are going to be participating in it and speaking in it. Brother Kalanji Jagachanga of FTP Movement, Brother Onwale Africa of Afrocentricity International, Baba Amin and Mama Nkoyo Binta of the Who Academy, South Carolina. Plenty of great performances, Sticks Digalow, Queen Jazeera, Kaba, soul singer, just to name a few who'll be a part of, this tremendous event that we've been having for 17 years here in Philadelphia. Last 2 years, we've done it virtually. Last year and this year on Do the Knowledge Radio. So, we're looking forward to having that, and looking forward to Baba Imhotep, addressing the brothers and sisters about race first, man. It's nothing more that needs to really be said, man. I'm just looking forward to it. And like I said, or should I say, like my brother Mike Surgeon said, it's an honor working with this group of brothers, man. Really is a group. And I hope that it creates an even tighter bond than what we have, and that alliance that I said that is needed to be, frontline warriors for our people. Once again, Saturday, August the 7th for African Independence Day at 1 p.m., 1 to 5 p.m. right here on Do the Knowledge Radio, hosted by myself as well as yours truly, Knowledge Born Allah. And it's just going to be a tremendous day of presenters as well as performances right here on Do the Knowledge Radio. And we look forward to having everybody tune in. Oh yeah, next year I want to get
Rob, you see,
my brother.
He did that slip. Like he said, he said he gonna be hosting. Like I'm gonna let him do some work that day. You know what I'm saying? No.
I hope no. But real quick, I look forward to having my brother Obafemi next year. I want to have Obafemi and MCE perform next year. So when we come back at Malcolm X Park and do it, the way that we usually do it. So, but look, brother, I'm gonna do some work that day, so I'm not gonna have you, keeping me off.
Yeah. You're gonna do some work. You see how Baba Imhotep smiling right now? He's smiling because he understand. Like I'm about to, you good. You get the day on, but the day off. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to Brother Mike. Let's get with him, Brother Mike. Let's talk about anything you got going on, or anything any of you and your comrades or your family got going on out there for the month of August coming up. In addition to what you have going on the 20th.
Yeah, well, I mean, for us here in Columbus and Ohio, there are some other organizers from some of the other major cities in Ohio that we're working with for our event at the end of August. So our main focus is just really getting the word out and consolidating as many legitimate grassroots relationships as possible. This first year implementing the Race First rally here in Columbus and here in Ohio, um, the conscious community, the young activist community, which I don't necessarily consider myself a part of at this point because I'm 43 years old at this point. Although I started very young, co-founded my first organization when I was 12 years old here in Columbus, Ohio, with some other African-centered young people called Umojania back in the early 90s. I'm not a part of that youth activist cadre anymore. I'm a nation builder now. But having said that, the reason why I'm bringing that up is that our community lost, and the generation right below me lost two very gifted, very capable young organizers out of this city within the last 5 or 6 years. Both of them died under mysterious circumstances. Some narratives were kind of created that I didn't necessarily. It didn't sit well with my spirit. It didn't sit well with certain other brothers and sisters in the community spirit either, as far as what happened to them. But I'm talking about Marshawn McCarroll. People can Google his name, and a sister named Amber Evans, both from Columbus, Ohio, both community organizers. They were both very visible, very active. And so, the conscious community here, as far as I'm concerned, with the history that I have and the memory that I have, of this conscious community here in the city, it's in disarray. It has been in disarray. It's been under attack. We've lost some young organizers, like some other cities have around the United States. Darren Seals, there was a brother in his, I think, late 30s, early 40s, from Louisville, Kentucky, that was killed not too long ago after the whole Breonna Taylor protest started. So, that's one of the things that I kind of keep track of and monitor as well is, a lot of these activists and organizers around the country at the grassroots level that get knocked off, get shot before, after protests and things like that. So, we got to keep track of all that kind of stuff, and we got to have some ways of addressing these things and finding ways to minimize these types of things too, because one of my biggest issues is that I know that, the ones that we lose who are legit and who are really about our people, we're losing those faster than we're really able to like replace them. And we can't afford that, because I understand that this is a war and we're under attack. So, couple of summers ago, the police and certain other agencies here locally, they were all surrounded my house. I wasn't breaking no laws, hadn't committed any crimes, but they pressure us a lot, and I've been subject to it. I've been a target here locally, and certain other brothers and sisters have actually, lost their lives and died in the process. And it's been on my heart and on my spirit for a couple of these promos that we've done, just to name the names and remember Marshawn McCarroll and Amber Evans, and we're definitely doing this in their memory as well, because paraphrasing Fred Hampton, you may kill the revolutionary, but you can never kill the revolution. And we're going to continue to make progress until our people are free, and that's the end of it. Full stop.
And we honor those names. I say we honor those departed spirits, who fought in that way and continue to fight on the other side in that way. I say to them, and condolences to their families. as a retributionary, I got some solutions for those kind of situations, but you know, I'm on my best behavior today.
Yeah. I'm trying to be on my best behavior as well, my brother.
Chef Obafemi, talk to us, Chef. I know y'all chefing out there. I know y'all got some serious stuff going on out there. You understand? Chefing, talk to us, man. Talk to us.
Um, the so for the race first weekend, I mean the race first week, we hadn't really planned a lot, but just trying to go into go in an alignment with the principles behind what race first is, and just sharing different ways that people can get involved. You know, in your own interests. I know our people have different interests, so you know, I'd like to use Dr. Wilson's 9 areas of people activity to share with people just to see different ways that you know the stuff that we're interested in falls into one of these categories. So demonstrating race first in economics or education, entertainment, whatever the case may be. You know, right now since June of last year, I've been working on a project here in the city of local artists, you know, graphic artists, painters, as well as musicians, you know, hip hop artists and stuff like this. I created an initiative called Change in the Narrative. So I got like 17 artists in the city who have lent their time, talents, and energy towards, I mean, just what it says, changing the narrative. So the music, the artwork that's coming out of this is all to push this same cause to be race first. We're trying to push our people first. So the message in the music is supposed to is up. If you ain't spitting nothing uplifting, you ain't getting on it. If you drawing a painting, the painting has to be toward the narrative. We have to create the culture that goes along with the movement, and artists have a responsibility to play a role in that. I truly feel that you know artists help to drive the mindset because you know like the brother spoke about the music. You know, these songs play in your head all day, but depending on what you listen to, can kind of drive what you do. So that's one of the things that we've been doing. Also, during August, you know, we'll observe the Red, Black, and Green Flag Day, August 13th. So we got some, you know, we got some planned for the 13th to recognize that. So that's just some of the stuff that we're working on right now. But for Black August, definitely sharing information. I'm going to be starting back doing movie nights. So I've been doing movie nights in the community, showing documentaries, conscious movies, stuff like that, and have Q&A, you know, some food and stuff like that, and just engage in the community, asking questions like, you know. So I'll be starting that back up in August. So you know, it's all in alignment. So it's all, you know, keeping on that path and keep pushing, keeping the foot on the pedal on the gas. So that's what it is.
Definitely, definitely, definitely. So we here, and as we close, if anybody have any closing remarks, any words of encouragement, you know, Bob Imhotep want to give us another call to action. You understand, and everybody want to give a respective call to action. Oh, I did want to ask. I don't know why I didn't ask this at the beginning. Is there a way for people to be able to view? Do y'all have something set up? You know, people can't be at your city to see it virtually. Is there some kind of way for that to be made available? Or
That's a great question. And the hopes is that we most definitely evolve to that place. But I think, considering the fact the time period we living in, what we plan to do here in Baltimore, the same thing we did last year, is just desert a person or two to just send Facebook Live for the most part. You know what I'm saying? But I guess as we move forward, because one of the things that I want to do is and this came to me probably like 2-3 nights ago, and this gonna be the first time that the buzzers heard this, is I want to do this thing called post race first rally check-in. So maybe a couple of days after the rally, then we do a check-in. It's a Zoom check-in, whereas though we can be a part of that discussion, and even people who attended the rallies can be a part of that discussion, and we just rap. It's a rap session for the most part, because the interview that I was on last night, that interviewer asked that same question, and she said that she knows some people, and she's gonna try to figure out how we can potentially make that happen. Maybe not this year, but maybe next year. And I think that's what Race First is all about. Goes back to what you just said, Baba Obafemi, about people getting it where their interests at. So we may not necessarily be videographers or things like that, but we have people who are videographers, who have equipment, who have the means to do this. We bring them in. This your area. This your contribution. Then make it happen for us. We're gonna do this over here. You do that. If everybody do what they can do in their area, and we bring it all together, we can maximize our results. One of the mistakes that we have made, and we continuously make, is this. We wrongly attribute expectations to the organizers as if the organizers have absolute knowledge in all areas. We don't have absolute knowledge in all areas. We don't have absolute skill sets. We just have our knowledge and our skill set. We still need what you got to align with what we're doing to maximize it for all of us. So we need everybody out there to call in. If you're in Columbus, connect with Mike. If you're in Philly, connect with Carl Jones and connect with Oba. If you're out there in Pine Bluff, connect with Freddie Savage and Obafemi. If you're in Baltimore, connect. Like, this thing is open for us. You don't gotta relinquish none of your organizational autonomy. We saying, come bring what you got and let's get under this banner and let's get some real results. That's what this is about. So the hopes is we will get to do that at some point, but the knowledge born along. But for now, what I'll do in Baltimore, I'm just gonna have 2 or 3 people and just go live, send it live. And we can do it that way until we get more sophisticated. But until that happens, we got to do what we got to do and use the tools at hand. Guerrilla warfare.
I would definitely want to, get with you and see how we could silent stream that check-in, because I think, someone kind of like, not really moderating the conversation, but asking like little pointed questions here and there to kind of guide the conversation. Because you could be in the thick of it and not, not really see, so, allowing people to give their commentary, that's going to bring something, and then allowing some people, to ask questions, to kind of guide the conversation along. I think that'd be good. You see what I'm saying? Because, letting people know you don't know what you don't know, and then learning on the fly in the mix of it all too, putting that together, I think that's very, important. And then that this needs to have some kind of production feel. You see what I'm saying? Because the initiative is too important. And if they spending 80 hours out of the day, even though it's only 24 or something like this, they need to be able to go see something and look at something and be like, oh, okay, boom. The same way we do the videos for the songs, you understand what I'm saying? Like this, the same way we could do this Race First rollout to where it looked like a movie. So now you got a movie to watch. You see what I'm saying? You got a movie to watch to have a discussion. What you actually doing, what it actually took, all of those things. Organizers need to know, what it takes to put it on. You see what I'm saying? What the standard is, but also those intangibles. You see what I'm saying? So for each area, they need to be able to look at it. And if y'all could give them some of those bases, they can have a starting point. Because, Race First 2022 starts on August 29th of this year. You see what I'm saying? So the lead up to 2022 begins on August 29th. So the organizations that's involved, the cities that's involved, they got a continuous mandate. You see what I'm saying? To build up to, 2025 with that convention. So all of these steps. So every day is purposeful, strategizing, brainstorming, forging bonds. You understand what I'm saying? And all of those things to begin to push to see a true coalition. A true coalition, y'all know each other from being tried and tested. You know what everybody made of. You understand what I'm saying? So, this can make you or this can make you quit. You know what I mean?
Right.
So having that all together in regards to that conversation is something that's powerful where, you come into the community and the community is involved. And this increases the community involvement and belief in building up a race first mentality where it once was a nigger mentality. You see what I'm saying? So then we can move from race first to race only. There's nothing else in the conversation. You see what I'm saying? So I'm glad that we were able to have this conversation. You see what I'm saying? I always love an excuse to have you on, Bob Imhotep. You understand what I'm saying? And Bob, you already know. You understand what I'm saying? Obafemi, don't be acting like this the last time because I need the families to come on. I need the children to come on because you're doing something great and it's duplicatable. You see what I'm saying? People go and they do what they see. You see what I'm saying, Brother Mike? We need you to come on, with your coalition, with your people, you see what I'm saying, and let them know because it could be people right next door to you that don't know what you're doing. You see what I'm saying? So in this arm of media, we educate and reorient minds in regards to their city. You see what I'm saying? Every city needs a race first coalition needs assessment. You got a collective, and then you have an individual. So again, this will deter a lot of the people who want to come for the pictures because they there in the pictures, Bob. You understand? They there for the pictures. They're there for the hooting and hollering, but they ain't there for the work. You see what I'm saying? So once they understand the scope of the work and the goal of the work, it'll weed out people, and then you only get those that wood that's good timber. You see what I'm saying? That mortar that's good for making bricks. You see what I'm saying? So all of these things go together, and you don't even really got to, tell people what these qualifications are. If they paying attention, they'll know. And then if they get inside, then they'll understand. They won't have an issue with it. So this is how, video and media play a role in appeasing and enticing the minds in the same way that our enemies use improper propaganda to promote their agenda. We're here with an agenda. You see what I'm saying? Yes. Somebody coming amongst us and they talking about, hey, I don't have an agenda. What you doing here? You understand what I'm saying? Because if you ain't got one when you show up, somebody will give you one. You see what I'm saying? They'll give you one and they'll send you, So having that understanding and having that space of love and empowerment, and embodying those principles in our words, our actions, our deeds, it's something that I love, that I see from y'all brothers. You understand what I'm saying? That's why y'all always welcome here. Anybody got any closing remarks before we get out of here? And also emphasize one more time in this call to action fashion, to get people involved in your city. For those who might see this archives, and they may be in Columbus, they may be in Pine Bluff, they may be in Philly, they may be in Baltimore, they may be in Buffalo, they may be in LA. You understand what I'm saying? Let's take this time and really drive the point home.
Yeah, so what I would like to say to everybody that's listening and may listen to this, hopefully you'll watch it before July 25th, 2021. This is the call. The National Race First Awareness Week kickoff this Sunday, July 25th, 2021. If you're in Baltimore City, Tubman City, or the surrounding areas, meet me at the Henry Highland Garnett Park. And that's at Drew Hood Avenue and Lafayette Avenue at 2:30 p.m. Meet me there so we can kick off this National Race First Awareness Week. This is our week, not just those of us that's on this platform. This is for Black people wherever you are at. This is a week for you to affirm, celebrate, and commemorate your Blackness through the practicality of being race first. This is a call for everybody. Like, get on board. This is your time, and this is your moment in history. If you need to contact me or reach out to me, you can get me on Facebook at Baba Imhotep, Instagram, Baba Imhotep. Either one of those, just inbox me, send me a message, DM me, and we can kick it.
Brother Obawajumi. You on mute?
You're on mute.
Sorry about that. In Philadelphia, Saturday, August the 28th, At 1 p.m., we will be meeting at 52nd and Girard Avenue, and we will walk up to 59th and Girard Avenue at Carroll Park. At 2 p.m., we will officially begin the Race First rally right here in Philadelphia. For more information, you can contact 215-796-1987. Once again, that's 215-796-1987. That is the official number for the Race First rally right here in Philadelphia, taking place on Saturday, August the 28th, simultaneously with the 6 other cities so far for the Race First rally for 2021. But prior to that, we will be having our 17th annual African Independence Day Mayat Celebration 2021 Unified Die, which will be virtually broadcast live right here on Do the Knowledge Radio from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. We will have guest presenters, speakers, as well as performers, as we usually do right here on Do the Knowledge Radio, hosted by Knowledge Born Allah and myself that Saturday, August the 7th, right here on Do the Knowledge Radio, the 17th annual African Independence Day Mayat celebration, right here on Do the Knowledge Radio. So we look forward for everybody to join us. With that, I'd like to say BB48, race first.
Who's first?
Brother Mike.
Yes, sir. Well, once again, thank you for the opportunity. Our Race First rally will be taking place on Saturday, August 28th, 2021 at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. The location is Maloney Park, 1701 Joyce Avenue, Columbus, Ohio, 43219. You can reach me for more information at 614-687-5619. Once again, that's 614-687-5619. And just want to say, race first, Abibi Fahodie, black first, and thank you again for this opportunity to share more information about the Race First rally here.
Brother Obafemi.
Yo, so August 28th here in Pine Bluff, Arkansas. The Race First rally is going down at Townsend Park. That's 1000 Townsend Drive in Pine Bluff, Arkansas at 1 p.m. That's at 1 p.m. So you in Pine Bluff, Little Rock, North Little Rock, Camden. I mean, you in the state, you can make it to Pine Bluff. Let's get here. You know what I'm saying? But prior to that, tomorrow at GSC Community Gardens, we'll be hosting a benefit event for the Sankofa Institute, an African-centered micro school up for kindergarten through 2nd grade. We hosting a benefit event, Jazz in the Garden. That's for the community, so come out and support that. It's still in alignment with its first mission, so part of the work. So again, Pine Bluff, Arkansas, August 20th, Race First rally, Park, 1000 Townsend Drive. Be there, or I know you square. So thank you for the platform, brother. You know what I'm saying? Knowledge Born. I got to get with you so I can get back on here, man.
Yeah, man. ASAP. Okay. There's no place like home. This is the voice box for straight, black, and proud African-centered folk. Nobody else qualified. Okay? That's the disqualifier on here. If you ain't straight, if you ain't black, if you ain't proud, if you ain't African-centered, you need not apply. All right? So I know that for everybody that's up here, and the day I'm slipping, I need to check up out of here. You understand what I'm saying to you? I done outlived my usefulness when I come to that point right here. So, B48, race first, Black power, black unity, black family. Thank y'all. And be getting with y'all soon. See what I'm
All right.
saying?
You
All
before
right,
you
brother.
race first.
P48. Race first. All right now.
Race first.
Yeah. Now we gonna tell them. That in front. We tell them like this, yo. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a African. Yeah, y'all like that. No more. This man's mind is open. I'm an African. I'm a African. I'm an African. I'm a. Let's get
And
back
that
to the
motive
gritty
is best developed by recognizing the common enemy.